Welcome to ACO videos, lesson number 2. Now you know how to move the pieces. Okay, good. So before you proceed with this lesson, I'm hoping that you've seen at least lesson 1. And now we're going to move to a lesser powerful piece than the one we dealt with, which is the castle. And again, the concept is still the same. Checkmating your opponent is a process of restricting them to the back or the edge of the board as much as you can. And in this particular case, to start with, it's very easy for white to just move his rook here and limit the black king to the edge of the board. So let's do that. Now let's say it's black's turn and he can move here. Now we can't limit him to as much as we can. So we have to do as much, we can do as much as we can, but we can't limit him further than that. So here, let's say he is going to try and fight to be pushed back. With this piece, we know for certain that he can. So he's going to try and attack the rook, and all we need to do is to move as further away as we can from the king, and you try to move there. We use our king to come and help. You move there, and here, this is the most important trick about using your rook to checkmate your opponent's king, is as long as these two kings are facing each other, if you check him, he is forced to go backwards. So here we anticipate that he is going to try and attack the rook, so we will move our king, let's say, to this square, so that if he goes here, we've got that situation which I just mentioned to you, where the two kings face off like this. Every time they face off like this, if you check the king won't be able to avoid moving backwards because two kings cannot approach each other. So here, white will take advantage and say check. So now you notice that our black king controls these squares, and if the king moves towards it, it's essentially it's performing a legal move. So he's forced in this particular case to move, let's say, backwards. And here again, we want our two kings to face each other, but if we go for it directly now, what he's going to do is just going to use it to avoid us. So what you normally do, you just apply a little bit of thinking and you follow him behind like this. So now if he's going to come back, you check him and it's checkmate. So the clever thing for him would be to run away. You keep following him because the board there's an edge and he has to come back at some point. And when he comes back, we've got that same scenario where the two kings face each other. And now you can deliver checkmate. Okay, so I recognize that you have different scenarios where the king will start from, but this video gives you an idea of how you are going to be able to restrict the king anywhere, wherever it is, and push it to the edge. These are the two, I think, key endings that after you've learned how the pieces moves, you need to know at least these, because they really help you in the way you think, especially when it comes to cornering a king, because this is a consistent motif in the game of chess. So master this one as the second one, and then we'll move on to the next step.